All right, we're back. Graveyard Shift Movie Podcast, episode number 75. This week, it was Maverick's pick.
Yep.
And he picked Horror Express from 1972, starring Christopher Lee. What was it, Peter Cushing? That was the other guy's name, I'm pretty sure.
Was it Peter Cushing?
I know Cushing, but I'm pretty sure it was Peter, the first name. But yeah, that's what he picked. Here's the thing. I didn't like this movie.
What?
And I'm gonna give it. I wasn't gonna give it what I'm about to give it, but there's something about it that pissed me off. Well, it didn't piss me off, but I was like, come on, guys. But I'm gonna give it a 3.
Wow.
That's what I'm gonna rock for Horror Express.
How dare you?
Yeah. So Maverick, what are you gonna?
I'll give it I'll go with a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the best movie, I'll admit, but there was like some things that they don't do anymore in movies that I fucked with. So
you fucks with?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I'm real tired. My eyes hurt. Maverick's voice is leaving him. So get ready for this fucking this exciting episode. Spoiler warning for Horror Express. If you've never seen it, we're gonna ruin everything about it. So you've been warned. So first off, before we even get into the movie and start breaking it down, here's what pissed me off, Maverick, is you've never seen this movie. And funny enough, a little spoiler for my pick for this week, which totally random that you would pick this movie and then my next pick would go into this. This whole movie, or a big part of it, is a total ripoff of a movie called The Thing from Another World.
Really?
Yeah, that came out in the 50s, and then John Carpenter remade it in the 80s. That's just The Thing. And that was going to be my pick for next week. So, but, yeah, and the whole thing in The Thing is the Thing getting into people's bodies and shit, and then they're having to figure out who's the alien from outer space and all this shit. And then this movie, spoiler, I mean, later on it becomes who is it? Who's the alien? It's taken over someone's body and all this shit. And I thought to myself, maybe like they had some connection to, I can't remember the guy who wrote the book, because it's based on a book too. But then I went and looked it up, and they were like, nah, I just kind of plagiarized it. And I was like, So that's why I lowered it to a 3. I think I was more on your level with a 4 or 5. And then I got upset about it ripping off The Thing. And, yeah. But anyway, movie starts off, and Christopher Lee and a bunch of other guys are on an expedition. And I'm pretty sure Nigeria is what it said. But it was all snowy. Does Nigeria have snow? I thought it was hot. Anyway, I'm going to say they were on an expedition in Nigeria. I'm pretty sure that's what it said. But these guys are on an expedition in Nigeria. There's a voiceover that is talking about, little do they know, it would be leading into the biggest disaster of mankind or some shit like that. And I was like, all right, and they go on top of this like mountain shit, and there's a little like cave cutout place, and they go wandering in, and like literally not even a minute into the movie, Christopher Lee finds like a frozen dead body, and it's like it makes like this loud ass, which at the time I didn't notice it, but then later they talk about how it's like a ape man from 3,000 years ago or something like that, and I didn't realize.
Yeah, it just looked like a skeleton to me.
That's what I thought.
Frozen. Yeah.
But yeah, apparently he finds some ape man dude. So then they take him down off the mountain. They get him in like this box, and they're about to load him up on this train. And we get a scene where this random Chinese dude comes and like tries to pick the lock off of the box.
Yeah.
And
He
then
tries to steal what's ever in it
yeah, and
at
then
the train station in broad daylight.
in broad daylight around everyone. He has like one lookout, but it doesn't matter because he's in the middle, like the crowd.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird. And then it pans away to him, and Christopher Lee is like talking to a guy. But then they hear like I think they hear like a scream or something, and they come back, and the Chinese dude is there with like his eyeballs rolled up in the back of his head. There's like blood coming out of his nose and his eyes and stuff, and so he's dead. And they're like, oh my god, what is this? And then randomly, this like hippie monk worshiper,
Priest.
yeah,
He's
like, it's the devil, like out of nowhere.
yeah. He's like super like religious.
Super.
And he's like, yeah, he's talking about it's the devil.
Yeah, he's like, it's the devil. He starts drawing like a cross on the ground, and he's like, you can never mark the devil or something. And so he shows him try to draw a cross on the box.
Yeah, he said, like places like of evil, can't be marked by the cross. So he draws a cross on the ground with chalk, and there's a cross there. Then he goes to draw chalk on that fucking container with the mummy in it, and nothing.
Yeah.
Like the chalk doesn't work. And they're like, yeah, Christopher Lee's like, trickery.
Yeah, he's like,
He blames yoga for some reason. He's like, it was weird.
Yeah, and he's like, load them up. And so they load up the fucking box. This is when I write down in my notes that they finally get on the Horror Express.
Horror Express.
So, what the fuck is this? Oh, okay. It auto-corrected. I wrote down, they get on, and they load everything up and shit. And then, this is when Peter Cushing is there. And I'm not even sure what he's like a scientist or a doctor.
Honestly, I don't know.
Isn't he the one that does the brain surgery later?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think he's a doctor.
Because him and his assistant, which is the like shorter female lady, which is like
spoiler, is she the one? Is that lady you're talking about the one that ends up living in the whole movie?
No, she died.
Okay. Because there's a lady who dies about halfway through, and then randomly at the very end of the movie, it's Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and there's another girl who I was like, I have no idea where she came from.
I think it was the princess.
Ah, yes.
But yeah, the assistant, like they're introducing themselves because Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing's character know of each other.
Yeah.
And then he introduces his assistant, and he says like she's the best in her field, and then she goes for a woman, and I'm like, oh god,
yeah,
this movie's really aged.
It's something. But yeah, they make introductions and shit, and then everyone leaves, and Peter Cushing stays behind, and he talks to the guy in control of all the packages. He's like, hey, if someone were to, drill a hole and take a peek at what was in this box, and he like slips him some money, and I was like, what? And so
because Christopher Lee wouldn't tell him what was in there. He just said some bones, some like artifacts, and then he was like, it's gonna change everything.
Can I just say, by the way, I was real disappointed. To be fair, it's the character he's playing. But I was real disappointed in Christopher Lee's performance in this movie. Like, he just sort of seemed like he was just going through the motions. I don't know. There was nothing that stuck out for his character.
Yeah, for his character, for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, so then they all leave, and dude, like, doesn't waste any time. He starts, like, drilling a hole in the box. He's also whistling the theme song of the movie, which apparently was like a big thing back in the 70s and 60s, as people would whistle the theme song of the movie. Yeah, so that's a little fun. But yeah, he starts drilling a hole in the movie, or goddamn, he starts drilling a hole in this box, and we like see like some red eyes and shit, and we're like, oh fuck. But then he like looks into the hole, and then out of the hole a fucking hairy ass arm comes and sticks out, and he's like, oh shit, and he jumps back. But then my problem is then the hairy arm starts to pick the lock on the box or whatever, yeah. And dude just stands there and watches it. And I was like, come on, man. And then by the time the thing's already got the lock off, he decides to step in. But the thing like just sort of looks at him with his eyes, and so the guy is like,
yeah, this thing could just kill you by looking at you.
Yeah, we learn
if you look at it in the eyes.
We learn later, apparently it's sucking your soul out through its eyes or whatever. And I was like, something oh like shit. That, yeah. Which the way they discover that he's doing that, or no, not the soul, it's just memories. He's like taking out your memories. Which the way they discover that, I don't think works in real life. Like, they eventually do brain surgery, I think, on the guy in control of the luggage. And by brain surgery, I mean
he's the second technically victim.
Yeah.
Because it's important that the thief at the train station died, because that's how the monster learned how to pick locks.
Yeah. And
he picked the lock to get out of the cargo.
Mm-hmm.
And then he killed homeboy.
Yeah, but they cut like his skull off or in half or whatever, and they see
his brain out,
and his brain is smooth. There's no wrinkles or whatever, and so Peter Cushing is like, his memories are gone. I was like, I don't know if that's a real thing, but I won't. I can't speak 100% on it.
Logic.
Yeah, I get up. But so anyway, they eventually see the dude's missing, and they go to check on it, but the box is like locked again or whatever. And Peter Cushing admits that he wanted the guy to take a look. Like, he straight up is like, I paid him to look into the box.
Right out of the gate. He's like, yeah, I paid him.
No one even questions him.
Yeah.
So immediately now they're like, all right, that's two people that are either missing or dead now that you've brought your box. So they're like, give us the fucking key to Christopher Lee. And this is the best thing Christopher Lee does in the whole movie, is he goes and throws it out a window. And he like somehow breaks the key in half with his hands.
Yeah.
And then throws it out the window. And I was like, but it doesn't matter, because he does that. And then immediately the guy's like, all right, break it down. And so they just like, they take an axe, and it's the weakest looking axe chops.
So bad. This man just going at it, just chop.
Yeah.
Chop. But it's like real slow.
Yeah.
And he's not really like, there's no impact.
There's no impact.
Yeah. So it was bad.
Yeah, but they chop up the box, and we see that it's the dead baggage guy or whatever in there. This is when I wrote down that Christopher Lee talks about how they found like a frozen ape man in the wherever they were. So now they're like, all right, we gotta find him, because now this fucking ape dude is on the loose. So they go looking. We cut over and we actually get to follow the ape dude, and he's just hanging out in a cabin like with two kids, like watching them sleep and shit. And I was like, oh man. But then a guard ends up coming in his room, and man, like, the kills in this movie, it's either people just getting blood on their face, or this guy comes in and just, and like, the ape dude just chokes him to death. Christopher Lee and them decide to just go to dinner that night. Like, while everyone else is looking for... They don't tell anyone that this thing is out. They're trying to keep it on the down low. So the people who know, and then they try to keep everyone else from not knowing. So that night, as they're at dinner, Christopher Lee, they like put down a fish in front of him, and it like the eyeball is white, and he's like, oh, oh, the eye. And,
why is the eye white?
Yeah.
Was it Cushing's character?
Yeah, like, Cushing is like, it's boiled.
Yeah, he's like, it's boiled, which I don't think you boil fish like that.
I don't. Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, it's when you boil it, that's what happens.
Yeah, Christopher's like, he starts like eating. But so they're eating, and then all that shit I just talked about, how they're trying to keep everyone from not knowing, goes out the window, because the one guy comes over in the middle of the restaurant and just starts going, Felix is dead.
Yeah.
And he's
in front of everybody.
In front of everybody. And then he has the nerve, because he's like, he's dead. He was killed. And this guy turns around and he goes, what did you say? And he goes, I didn't say nothing.
Mind your business. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you're yelling in a train car. Like,
yeah. And so this is when the guy's like, he tells Peter Cushing for some reason he wants to do an autopsy on the baggage guy. So he takes Peter Cushing. They go, like I said, they cut his skull off. They look at the brain. They see that the brain is smooth. This is when they somehow come to the conclusion that the ape thing is stealing the memories of its victims. Also, I forgot to mention that after the ape thing killed that guy in the cabin, the other guard came and ran in, but the ape thing, like, he sees the window is open. And so he tells everyone that they like jumped out of the train. So after the autopsy scene, we go back to the baggage area, and the ape thing like comes in from outside. It opens up the door, which I was like, why is that unlocked? I feel like it should be, shut. But the ape comes back in from outside. This is when whoever this lady is, there's one lady who is like super fancy, and she randomly decides, even though she's one of the people that knows this ape thing is killing people, she randomly decides to get up, go to the baggage area, and try to pick a lock on a safe and steal like money out of this safe or some shit. And
yeah, well, she's a spy. We come to find out later.
I missed that shit.
Yeah.
I was just like, why is she trying to get in the safe?
Yeah, they introduced her as like an international spy. And I'm like, okay, this movie's getting weird.
Yeah, Austin Powers.
Yeah. It's fucking weird. But yeah, they say she was a spy.
Okay.
I think this is after she dies.
It must have been. I don't know. I might have missed it before, but yeah, so she's back there picking a lock. Peter Cushing goes to check on her, but before he can get there, Peter Cushing goes to check on her because she never shows up because she fucking gets murdered. the ape thing grabs her, and it makes the craziest like wow, wow, wow. It's wild sounding. And he kills her. Meanwhile, as all this is happening, the monk priest dude is like behind a shelf, like watching it all happen.
Yeah, he's in the corner of like just crouched down.
Yeah.
Fucking peeking.
And so Peter Cushing goes to check on her, and as he gets there, the ape thing grabs him. But the guard, like the main guard, is able to shoot it. But as he shoots it, it like looks over and locks eyes with him. And so his nose starts bleeding and shit, but he's able to get off another shot, and it knocks over the ape and shit. But then he falls out too.
Yeah, he kills the ape with that last bullet.
Yeah. And so that day that night he wakes up, and this is when Christopher Lee just drops a random where he's like, oh yeah, he absorbs your memories through his eyes. And I was like, once again, how are you guys coming to these conclusions about what he's doing?
Listen, the brain is smooth, man.
I guess.
Memories.
So also that night the priest guy goes to like pray to God or something. And then as he's like making his prayer, a picture of Jesus Christ falls down, and the look on his face is amazing. He's like, and
the fucking I want to say, because there was a bunch of people in the room with him while he's praying, and the dude who killed the ape was in the room too.
Yeah.
And this is after he woke up and had the fucking his left arm or whatever was the ape arm. And so he walks in the room and they're all talking and everything, and dude starts praying, and then the fucking picture falls off. And so I was, putting shit together, and I was like, that's because the fucking devil, quote unquote, the ape man, was in the room.
Yeah.
So
that night, I don't even remember what he stole, Maverick, but he steals some shit. They go through a tunnel and all goes black, and then the light comes back up and they're like, where's the priest? And he's off running, and he had stole some shit. Oh, he stole the eye, right? Wasn't there an eye that they stole? Yeah, they stole the ape's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he stole it, and then that one lady goes to look for him, and once he's like hiding behind some shelves again, and as the lady is looking for him, the guard dude pops up who had just killed the ape and had the staring contest, and she's like, oh, thank God. But then the big twist, the guard dude is now the ape thing, and he kills that lady. And yeah, and this is when immediately fucking he kills that lady, and then immediately the priest, who the whole movie has been all about God and I hate the devil and all this shit, is like, my savior. And from that point on, he is all about serving the devil, and it was just so fast how he changed. But yeah, so that night Christopher Lee tells everyone on the train what's going on, and he's like, no one go on their own, we all need to stick together and all this shit.
Buddy system.
Yeah. And then they're like, we need to bring in Steve or whatever this fucking name is. And they go, and halfway through this movie, they introduce this guy who's just been on the train, who's like a soldier or something, and he's bald, and like I don't know, he's a Russian dude. And they go,
he wasn't on the train. He was at one of the stations that they picked him up at, right?
Well, I could have sworn. Well, when they stop at that one station, all the soldiers get on. I thought that dude was sleeping in the train somewhere.
No, I think he was. They send a message to one of the train stations.
Okay.
And the dude picks it up and is in code, and he reads it out. And he tells, I don't know if that dude was a general or what. But he's like sleeping underneath like a blanket.
Yeah.
Like head underneath the blanket and everything. He picks it up. There's a fucking female, like a chick, just sitting next to him. But yeah, he's like this big Russian bald guy.
Yeah.
Fucking the big dog or whatever. I don't know.
They call him something. Yeah, but they go to get him to So then, he must be. So they call the head to the station, and this is the guy telling them what's going on. And then later, when they get to the station, that's when everyone comes on.
Yeah, they all get on. A bunch of the Russian dude and a bunch of soldiers.
All right, that makes more sense. So they call ahead to that guy to tell them they're gonna stop. They got a situation. He needs to come on. Then we go back, and this is when things get even more ridiculous, because Christopher Lee now has regained the eye from the ape thing, and they take out some of its DNA or something and can see what the ape, its memories or whatever, and so they see dinosaurs and all this other shit, and this somehow when Christopher Lee goes, it was an alien from another planet that came down. That
Yeah.
and I was like, what? It's like,
Well, hold on.
oh,
So,
and you could see like space and stuff, and it's
yeah. So they look at the eye, the beast's eye, underneath a microscope, and in the first eye they see what it saw last, which was the police guy shooting it. Like it's like a still frame of that scene, and he's holding the gun and he's looking at the monster. And I think they look in the other eye, and it's showing like its past memories or some shit. So you see like the Earth and space and shit. So like this is before like rockets were made. So we haven't been to outer space yet.
Yeah.
So I could see how they would be like, oh, so it must be an alien that came to outer space. So
yeah, you learn
that was a logical conclusion. The fucking smooth brain memories thing was a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, he learns all this, and he's telling the guy he's talking to. He's like, "Yeah, the monster is someone on this train." The guy he's talking to is the guard, and so he's literally telling all this that he figured out to the alien. But as they're talking, that's when they stop at the train station. All these soldiers come on. The one head soldier, who is the best part of this movie, like his couple scenes, and he's like holding the gun where his middle finger is on the trigger.
He's a straight thug.
Yeah.
Man.
He's like drinking whiskey and just like breaking glasses.
Yeah, he's smoking the whole time. Like
Yeah.
a fat cigar.
And I just like, this alien has survived all these years or whatever, and all this shit. Literally, the dude's going around asking questions, and then I don't remember exactly what, but he's like, "What about you? Are you a human?" And the alien dude was like, and the priest is like, "You fool!" And I was like, "What?" And so instantly,
the Russian found out
quick. And the priest dude's like, "Beware the devil, and the devil will kill you," and all this shit.
Yeah, the priest tried to protect them. I think he was trying to feign as the monster.
Yeah.
And the Russian was not having it.
Yeah, the Russian was like, "The priest tries to protect you," or something. So then the alien just decides to like walk down the hallway, and real casual, like the Russian dude is just like throws a knife into his back.
The fucking he tries to run, and he uses, because his right hand is like permanent beast.
Yeah,
so he has claws, and it's all hairy and shit.
Uh-huh.
And he the whole movie he's been hiding it in his like pocket.
Yeah,
his jacket pocket or something. But he scratches one of the Russians with it. One of the guards, and he tries to run, and the bald Russian does like a suave fucking throwing knife, and hits him right square in the back.
Yeah, and the dude, they go around the corner, and then for some reason they let the priest follow him, which was dumb to me.
Well, yeah, they so I forget who tells him, but they tell the Russian guy, "Don't follow him, because if you look him in the eyes, you'll die."
Yeah.
So the Russian just stays put with all his guards. And dude's gonna die. I think the Russian even shot him a couple times, so he knows he's gonna die.
Yeah, he's dying.
Yeah, and the priest runs out right after him.
Yeah,
so.
And he's like, "Put your soul into my body and shit. Let me serve you," and all this shit. And so the alien does it, and then the priest comes walking out of the hallway, and he just starts like,
he's killing everybody.
He literally kills everybody. I think he kills the bald Russian. He kills all the soldiers, all the people on the train.
Yeah, not everybody on the train. Everybody runs except for the guard and the Russians. Or the Russian and the guards.
Yeah.
So you get this fight scene. But the lights are off, because with the lights on, you can't see their red eyes. So Christopher Lee turns the lights off, and then you could see that the dude is the beast.
Yeah.
And that's how you get like your definite proof.
Yeah.
And then he gets shot and stabbed by the Russian, and then he puts his soul into the priest, and then they come back in the room. The lights are still off. And then he just murks everybody.
I will say they got real lazy when they came to that part where they wouldn't even show people dying. It would just pan over, and they would already have the blood on their face.
Yeah, yeah. You got a lot of shots, just like blood coming out of people's eyes, and then them just going. Ah.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah,
that's the whole. Yeah.
But yeah, so the alien thing follows Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee and that girl that I said randomly showed up with them. At some point, he does like a fucking season 5 Game of Thrones where he's just like, and then all the people he killed start to come alive and shit, and they're like, oh fuck. But it doesn't really matter because the alien dude is in like the front car, and Peter Cushing and them have gone all the way to the back and have like cut off their car from the train. And so the alien just drives the train over a cliff. And it's real bad. You can tell it's like a toy train set that they drove off of a fucking...
Really?
Yeah, to me, it looked like... I might be surprised, and it turns out that it was a real train. But I'm pretty sure they just did like a miniature, and it was a train set. But
yeah, they had... They called ahead or sent a message.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, switch the tracks over when we get to this certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude's like... Why would we do that? Everybody on board would die.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, maybe there's a war. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, maybe there's a war. And the dude's like, okay, there's a war.
Uh-huh.
And so they do it. And for some reason, Tom.
What's that?
On this this railroad track, there's a path that goes to the right and a path that goes to the left. And the left path goes off a cliff. Yeah. And that's it.
You're like, why would they make this path?
Why? So, yeah, they switch it over. The engine and so they had pulled the pin on the cargo.
Uh-huh.
What would you even call that? The cargo section of the train.
Yeah, like
they pulled the
where
pin.
the whole movie started, basically, with all the luggage and stuff. Yeah.
So they slow down, and then the rest of the train dives off this cliff.
Yep.
And it explodes.
It explodes. You hear that fucking whistle theme song that was been playing through the movie, and that's the end of the movie. That's how it ends. Is with the train.
That is the end. Yeah.
Going off, and yeah, it was something. The movie had a budget of $300,000. Made the box office of, get this, Maverick, 755,000 admissions.
The fuck is that?
It says, I guess that's how Spain counts, because this came out in like Spain and shit.
Did it really?
Yeah. So I'm not really sure how much money that made, but that seems like a good amount of people, you know. This movie started filming, I believe, I want to say like a week. Peter Cushing had lost his wife like a week or two before they started filming this movie. And originally he wasn't going to do it, but Christopher Lee talked him into doing it because him and Peter Cushing made a bunch
of movies together.
Yeah. And so he was like, hey, let's do it. And so Peter Cushing did do it. He would have like night panics and shit to the point that Christopher Lee used to sleep in the same bed with him, just so when the guy would wake up, right? Fucking gay, consoling your... Wait, I messed up. Consoling your best friend, yeah.
Can't say that.
But yeah, so Christopher Lee... But then I think Peter Cushing said how he was real grateful that he got talked into making it.
Not bad.
But yeah, that's it. that was horror. Once again, I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the podcast, but we talk about it in our own lives. How people keep biting our shit And anytime we pick a movie, all of a sudden I see a bunch of other people, and literally Maverick picked this movie, never heard of it, and like the next day, this horror page I follow posted a picture where it was like Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing and Horror Express, and I was like, no, like you listen to us.
Episode's not even. Oh yeah,
yeah.
They're fucking.
And it pissed me off. So you're allowed to do it. Just give us credit, guys. Please. But anyway. All right. Well, hey, next week. I kind of already said what I'm picking, but it's my pick. And we're going to watch John Carpenter's The Thing from 83. It's from the 80s. But it's classic. It's got Kurt Russell.
Ooh.
Fucking, I want to say Keith David is in it too. The guy from They Live. But yeah. So we'll be interesting. I want to, because I told you how this movie kind of plagiarized it a little bit. So
wasn't there a remake and they're like in the snow?
Well, it's all in the snow.
The Thing.
The whole thing. They're in Antarctica. So there was the original from the 50s. There was The Thing from Another World or whatever. Okay. This movie that I just picked is like a reimagining of the original that's based on a book. And then in 2011, another Thing came out, and people thought it was a remake, but it ends up actually being a prequel to this movie that I just picked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and that movie, it had someone in it that we know. I know it had Tormund from Game of Thrones, the wildling dude with the red beard. I know he was in it. But I can't remember who else was in it. But anyway, next week, The Thing. And yeah. Also coming out, I don't know if it, Chucky's almost done. You didn't watch it. That was stupid. Yeah.
I watched that Wheel of Time though.
Yeah. How many episodes did you watch? Did you watch all four that were out? Yeah. How you feeling so far, Maverick? Maybe a little spoiler for Wheel of Time right now, but
the first 3 sucked, but that last one was decent.
That last one was definitely the best episode so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Snooze fest.
I liked the first episode, and then 2 and 3 were pretty shit, and then 4 was pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Man, let me tell you, and
no.
Okay. This show, I was watching it. Wheel of Time is diverse as fuck.
It's super diverse.
I don't think there's. There's one time I remember where like all actors on the screen were just white guys, but I think like every shot was just like it was like a mixing pot bowl. Yeah, they had some gay people in there. Which I don't think there was any gay characters in the book. There might have been though.
Spoilers.
Okay. Spoiler for Wheel of Time. A little Wheel of Time talk.
In the last episode, didn't the one that died, the witch that died, she had 2 of the servant, like the guard people.
Yeah.
They were totally banging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're sitting around the campfire and they're like talking about their bonds and shit, and she comes out of nowhere.
So
takes both of them. I'm like, oh fuck.
So can I say something that I don't know if they'll bring up in the show, but it looked like they're kind of doing away with it? Is a thing in the book is like when a Aes Sedai or whatever that they're called, those witch people, when they die, their warder basically like goes crazy, and they'll just like run off into the battle like to die basically.
Yeah, they were saying they had like they're bonded together, so
yeah,
when they could feel each other's pain and everything.
Can I tell you, they can also feel each other's pleasure. There's a lot of nice. My warder is fucking someone in the book. Like they can feel it all.
Yeah, because Asian dude he had a drink, like some beer.
Yeah,
Or
Lan.
whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
And then homegirl was like,
Got all emotional and shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
he said she got emotional because every time he drinks, she
Uh
does.
huh.
I was like, okay, that's cool. And then homegirl dies, and dude's on the battlefield, and he feels it, and then,
Yeah, you
yeah,
get a little bit of it because he does like he yells and he does like double acts or whatever and stuff. But then he comes back and he does attack Logain right after it. But
yeah.
but yeah, in the book, like they're not thinking straight really anymore. They just go running in and stuff. Um, but yeah, who do you think? Who do you think is going to be the dragon, Maverick?
Well, they said there was originally 4, but now they're saying 5, right?
Uh huh.
So I'm guessing homegirl's the 5th.
Yeah, the Naviv or however you pronounce it.
I don't know any of their names.
Dude, so I read all the books. They started talking in the show, and I was like, "This is how I pronounce it." Like even Egwene, her name is spelled Egwene. So I always said Egwene, right? But then you get the show, and they're Egwene, and I'm like, "No, no." But
Yeah. So yeah, they said they threw a wrench in there instead of 4, it's 5 now, and the 5th one was supposed to be the dude, but I guess they stripped his power when they like
Logain, yeah, they gentled him.
whatever the fuck that
Yeah,
means.
it's the same. They took his power away from him.
Um, but yeah, so I'm guessing because then she heals everybody. So I'm guessing she's the 5th. Um, who do I think it'll be?
Yeah,
Hopefully it's not the light skinned dude because I don't like him.
Perrin.
The dude who killed the chick on accident.
Yeah. They first off, once again, still spoiler talk for Wheel of Time. He was not married to anybody in the book, like at that beginning. So I don't know why they added in him being married to just kill his wife in the first episode. I was like, okay, that's weird. Perrin is my least favorite out of the main characters, even in the books. But he still has like some cool shit going on. But so far, his character in the show, and the guy's always got his mouth open, like
Yeah.
and yeah, Perrin definitely. I hope they change something up with him quick.
I think the white guy would be way too easy. So I don't think it's gonna be him.
Which white guy?
The redhead.
Oh, okay.
And then the other white guy.
Matt, the gambler dude.
With the sisters. I don't
Yeah.
think. I think it would. I think he's gonna be something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's him either. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be homegirl. Between her, because there's 2 chicks, right?
Yeah. There's Egwene and then the one that healed everyone at the end.
Yeah. It's a toss up. It's honestly 50-50.
Uh-huh.
But I think it might be the one who healed everyone.
Yeah.
But even then, I still, in the back of my mind, I'm like, nah, it's the other chick.
Yeah. In the book, Nynaeve, or what, I can't pronounce her fucking name, but the one that healed everyone, she was the only girl I liked reading about in the book. Whenever it was her chapter, I was like, cool, it's this girl. But anyway. All right, I think we're done with spoiler talk for Wheel of Time, but
caught up on Wheel of Time.
Yeah. But Chucky's almost done. I'm probably gonna make a fucking overtime just talking about the Chucky show. I have a lot of thoughts on that show.
Have you watched all the movies?
Yeah. Which I imagine they do a good job if you haven't watched the movies and you don't know who some of the characters are that they're introducing. They do like a quick little snippet where you can see who it is. So they do kind of a good job of explaining who people are. But kind of the one thing real fast is they have a lot of stuff from before Charles Lee Ray died and put his soul into Chucky's body. So it's when he's like going around with his girlfriend killing people and stuff. But the person playing Charles Lee Ray is his daughter, who she's another character in the movies and the show. But she plays him, and they put like prosthetics on him, and so on her, so she kind of looks like a dude. And they make Brad Dourif, who's the voice of Chucky, do all the lines, so it's him talking. But it is weird because she's walking around with this dump truck ass, so it's like it's Charles Lee Ray, but it's like big hips and stuff, and it's just funny watching her walk around as. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that choice, but it's a.
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Why not just get like a stunt double to?
I don't know. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for listening to the half Horror Express, half Wheel of Time, Chucky. But next week, The Thing shorts are coming out. I need to make some shorts. I don't have any, so there might not be any Monday. So, well, it doesn't matter. But when this comes out, it'll already be fucking. It's a whole nother week. But anyway, hey, also guys, if you buy Battlefield 2042 on your PC, make sure your PC can play it. That's just a little warning for you guys. Also, Maverick, have you seen the memes of the people being like going to Dunkin' Donuts and being like, "You guys got any donuts?" And then the people be like, "Yeah, they're right here, fucking asshole," or whatever.
Oh.
Anyway, it's real. Went to Dunkin' Donuts the other day, Maverick. These motherfuckers don't have any goddamn donuts. I ordered a Boston cream. They didn't have any Boston creams. Then we ordered like this double chocolate. They didn't have no double chocolate. Ended up getting like
Burger King not having any fucking chicken.
Yeah. Ended up getting like vanilla iced.
Bastards.
Anyway, all right. Maverick, got anything else you'd like to add before we leave?
Tell Tom he needs to put more content out on the gaming channel.
Listen, don't put that curse on me. Okay.
He has all the time in the world now.
Motherfucker. Alright, well, thanks for putting me on blast for your final words. Alright, next week, The Thing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.